Our Fall Camp Chadron State coverage with Stevann Brown here today, senior running back for the Eagles, and coverage presented by Far West Cuisine in Chadron, food from around the world. We made our way inside here tonight to talk to Stev. It's a little blustery out on the football field, so getting a look here inside at the Chadron State facility. Stevann, how you feeling tonight? How you doing? And how's the first few weeks of school going?
Doing well. This first week of school was, I'm going in my professional portion of my academic career, so I'm having my block class, and it's every day for like 3 hours. So, it's kind of a drag, but, school's going well, and, these first couple of weeks of practice are going really well too. So it's an exciting time around here. This week was kind of jam-packed, just with school starting, but next week things will kind of ease back into a flow, and I think we'll be even getting more ready every day for Black Hills.
Yeah, you have those classes all put together, practices in and out of class, and lifting and everything. It's a busy schedule that you guys have. Stevann, how's camp gone so far now that you're in a couple of weeks? How do you feel like you're playing? How do you feel like the team is looking in fall camp with the season opener coming up?
Yeah, no, our team's picking things up really well across the board. I mean, I can't speak too much defensively, but I mean, we go against them every day, and they're looking really sharp. You know what I mean? Gator, Tyler Lewis, and Travis Wilson at linebacker, they're doing really well. Then Brendan Hopkins up front is a D lineman. He's really standing out too. So, I mean, then our secondary, of course, Dre, who I live with, he's one of my roommates. And, of course, we got, like, Butta, who's Tyree Fryer, and Rabbit. And we got a bunch of guys, that are returning, one, which is a great thing, and two, they are putting some good things on film. And not only that, but we also have some great transfers who have come in. I'll shift to the offensive side of the ball. A guy who's playing on the O-line right now, that being Justin Calderon. He's from New York, and he's doing a great job stepping in, and we have other young guys, especially on the O-line, that have stepped up. And that's fun to see. And then, of course, our receivers, strongest they've ever been. And they've had a really good camp so far. I mean, we have depth. We have the most depth at that position we've ever had, like I said. And those guys are not only, catching the ball well, but they're getting in on blocks. And that's awesome to see, because that's something Coach Masters always preaches, And so those guys are doing well. And then, of course, 1-4 back there catching the snap. He's looking really well, too, really good, too. And it's exciting. And, of course, Coach Sassy, taking over the ST. It's fun to have him back. He was a GA when I was coming in as a freshman. Yeah. And it's fun to have him back as our ST coordinator, and ST is going really well. He's getting us set up, with all the base schemes, with everything we're doing. First couple of weeks have really been awesome. And we have great chemistry, great camaraderie between the team, and I mean, like I said, it's exciting, and I always say exciting, and it can't be anything different. It's nothing different. I'm really ready to go.
You're ready to get after it. Yeah, and it is exciting. I can feel it, see it in the vibe with you guys out at practice. You mentioned all the new transfers that are coming in. It looks like some guys who will definitely make an impact this year. You've been in this program now. This is your fifth year as a redshirt senior. How do you guys that are in that senior level kind of get the transfers acclimated to what the Eagle way is? How do you make them feel comfortable and feel like a part of the team?
Sure. Well, a lot of the time, with transfers, they are guys who, of course, have come from a college program. So they come in knowing what to expect collegiately, athletically as a collegiate standpoint. And so when they come in, all they have to do, like you said, is learn what that Eagle way is. And for a lot of those guys, they're guys who have worked hard already to get to college and play college football. So coming in, there's not much to teach. I mean, we have a few guys right now. There's a running back, of course, Justin Cawley, and he's fit right into what we want in terms of Eagle effort and stuff like that. And then Tyler Freeman, he's a corner. And like I said, Justin Calderon and Jaquan Murphy playing at Humboldt the past few years. I mean, just guys who already know what it takes, but coming into Chadron, this is a tough place. It's a tough place to live and to be a part of the town and everything like that. It's a small town, so those guys came in not knowing what much to expect, but they fit in because they're guys who are gonna go 110%. You know what I mean? And that's exciting to have guys who can come in and not only play right away, but bond well with us and live and everything with us perfectly in sync. So it's exciting with those new guys, freshmen too, and just getting them prepared for what the RMAC is all about.
Yeah, you bet. Stevann Brown with us here as we visit with him about fall camp and the team and things coming up. And we'll have 4 downs coming up with Stev here in a little bit too, and that ought to be quite a bit of fun. You mentioned Tyler Lewis's name, Gator. I've always kind of wanted to ask you, does he hit as hard as it looks like he hits?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. It's so funny because people always, for some reason, I'm not sure, even guys who have always been here for these 5 years, they underestimate what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
And I say this, to the day I die. He is a guy who I feel every time I come on the field. And it's funny, we had this talk today, out on the field at practice, and EJ Crease, our strength and conditioning coach, he was talking about it this morning, making everyone feel you when you're out on the field. And Gator is the perfect representation of that, because it can be deceiving. He's short in stature. I love the dude, but he's short in stature for a typical linebacker. And he's 190, 200 pounds, but he brings something with everything. And he's a guy who came to this program, and may have been overlooked and whatnot. And that's just a testament to everyone who's here. We're a lot of guys who may have been like the second pick, but we come in and we show, not only by how hard we work, but when we hit that field, we're just as good as anyone else. And that's how not only Gator prepares, but everyone. We hit the field knowing that we will compete with anybody in this conference and in this D2 football.
Absolutely, you bet. Stevann, talking about getting hit, especially guys like Gator who can ring a bell or two. When you're going through practice and fall camp and preparation, do you like the contact? There's practice rules, kind of curtailing contact, all that stuff in the NFL, college, high school. Le'Veon Bell the other day of the Jets was saying that he's like, I want to get hit in practice a little bit. I need to know what it feels like. Do you like taking hits?
I do, because it can be frustrating sometimes, when guys kind of let up and they might not. I mean, when you're going against the ones, you expect contact, but especially going against scout team, you might not feel the hits that you will feel on Saturday. So it's tough when you can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and not take big hits, and then on Saturday it's a whole different ballgame. So I personally like knowing what it feels like, taking hits, and these first 2 weeks are awesome because it is mostly our ones against the defensive ones. So I mean, we have basically live periods where we work against the defense and offense, especially in the trenches. We always say the trenches is live. You know what I mean? You can't really feel the way out down the trenches. So as a running back, I'm basically live as well. You know what I mean? And so I get knocked to the ground every now and again, and it's nice because it's something I'm going to experience on Saturday no matter what. Never on Saturday I'm going to get tagged off or nothing like that. It's not touch football on Saturday. It's live. So during the week I do enjoy getting hit just to get me motivated and get me going for Saturday. Yeah.
Stevann Brown with us here today as we visit with one of Chadron State's running backs, RB1, RB2, RB3. You guys are all kind of intermixed, and that's sort of been the place in your career here at Chadron State. You've had some great teammates in the backfield around you. You've got Elijah Miles and Priest Jennings and some other guys here this year. You mentioned the new guy from the Montana State transfer too. I would say you want the ball every time, obviously, but has it ever been kind of tough not to be that RB1, or do you like the flow of how you're able to have these guys around you and take your turns?
It's funny you ask that because so often guys do want to be the starter, and that's not necessarily selfishness or what have you. That's just being competitive. I mean, everyone wants to be the number one guy, and myself included. Unfortunately, I always, throughout my career here, I've sometimes let that selfishness creep in and wanted that one spot, But at the end of the day, it's better to accept that role, and that's something I've done in my career here. Just accepted my role and just did everything at the best of my capabilities. And so, you have guys like back in the day, Cody Paul, DJ, Kevin, you know, those are guys that I played with. And now, of course, Elijah and Priest. And Priest has been here, but last year he was injured, you know. So, I mean, there's always been a stable back there. And especially for this position, only one can be on the field, you know. So all of us have qualities that teams need on the field at some point, and I understand that, you know what I mean? So it's fun to be able to, you know, when I am on the sideline, you know, when it's my break, I can watch number one run out there, and he's going to run all over the field because that's what he's good at. And then, of course, Priest, you know, we've seen glimpses of him throughout his career, and he is so fast, and people don't ever they don't respect it, and it's fun to be able to finally really be next to him, play with him again. And so he's going to be out there doing his thing and all that. And so as a running back, sometimes you do step back and you watch your teammates do what they can do. And we all have great qualities that we can push each other on and then balance each other with. So it's fun. I think that's a fun question to hear you answer because it's allowed you to be so versatile the last few years and catch the ball, return the ball. We've got a fun question coming up on that for you in the 4-down segment. Stevann Brown with us here again today. And Stevann, now that you're a senior, 5th year in the program, what would you tell the freshman Stevann Brown coming in if you could look back and talk to him and say, hey, this is stuff you got to know now that I want to pass along to you that I've learned the last few years? Yeah, no. Goodness. It feels so long ago now, you know, 5 years. But if I were to talk to, you know, the 18-year-old Stevann, you know, I would tell him that these are the best years of your life, and it's something that the coaches preach to us, and like older guys have preached to us. You know, these are the best years of your life. And 5 years ago, me, you know, I was pouting because I was redshirting. You know what I mean? And I thought I didn't like that experience and I didn't enjoy it, but in reality, it set me up for a career that I'm very proud of. And 1, and 2, that redshirt year was something where I could grow not only my body, you know, physically, strength, speed wise, but I mean, it got me settled into a college routine, you know, and getting classes and making sure I go to class and preaching the importance of class with our AGP program, our academic game plan. And also just getting cultured in Chadron and college life, you know, and it's something I do regret as doing as a freshman was really not trying to bond with anyone. You know, I didn't go out ever, and so I didn't really try and make friends. And me now to younger me, I would tell them to go out and actually meet people because I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities. The 3 guys I live with, Lane Jerzel, Dre, and Matt Vargas, you know, I met them basically the spring semester and into the following fall of my second year in college, you know. And so my first semester and really my first year, I didn't hang out with anyone, you know. And those guys are now my family. They're my closest companions, along with Gator and Priest. And I just wish I would have been more open to try and be a little more social with people. But in terms of football, you know, I remember my freshman year, I was really down on myself because I was redshirting, like I said, and I just was like, I don't want to be here and all that. But I mean, obviously I got through that now sitting here today, but if I were to tell myself back then, I would just told myself, shut up and just embrace it. You know, when we talk about embracing the grind, and every program really does. Yeah. But you got to embrace the grind and understand that there's more to it than what lies at the surface. You know what I mean? That's what I would tell all the freshmen right now, period. You know? Hard to believe you didn't go out and try to meet people. You're such a personable guy, and you know, you're vocal at practice. Exactly. And it's amazing how that maturity develops and how you figure that out. Absolutely. That's great. Stevann again here with us tonight. Stevann Brown. And Stevann, Coach Jones was saying to me about the special way that your body and your mind kind of work in sync as a running back, and when you're making moves out there and thinking about what you want to do. And I'm just curious about when you're out there, you're running up through a hole, you see a linebacker coming at you, what are you seeing in terms of how does your mind and your body work together, and that, like, how much do you think about the move you're about to make, or do you just kind of go out there and react? You know, it something I always tell everybody when it comes to running back. Running back is so much about instinct more than what you can coach. you can coach, cutting off the cones and whatnot. And those are great because that does help your footwork when you get on the field. But when it comes to game time, when it gets on Saturdays, and like you said, you got to meet Gator in the hole, it's something where I never think about what I'm about to do. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's nothing that is wrong, but it's just something that happens. It is natural. Whatever I do, it's just based off instinct and what is naturally going to happen. And that's what a lot of the running backs you see in the NFL and whatnot, I mean, they practice their moves and whatnot and make it more, like you said, syncing up your mind and body and muscle memory more than anything. But when you get on the field, if you're not working on those moves, and you'll just get tackled, something simple like that. But if you work on your moves and everything like that, it'll be so natural that you don't even realize you did what you did until you watch it on film the next day. And that's what is exciting about being a running back. I mean, the greats like Barry Sanders and whatnot, I'm sure they never thought about, I'm going to do this right now. It doesn't work like that. When it comes down to it, no play is exactly the same, so you have to react.
And tough to predict what a defender is going to try and always do.
And running back football is such a reactionary sport across the board. No other sport really works like that, where no one play is the exact same.
Yeah.
No one player, offense or defense, moves the exact same. So everything from what you do at DB to center, everything is reactionary.
Yeah. Great stuff. Stevann Brown with us tonight. Stev,